Hello everyone, this is Chantal from Gluten Free Cooking 123.com, and today we are going to make focaccia bread. I would have liked to show you the bread before we started, but I made it yesterday and lunchtime came today and wouldn't you know it, it was gone. Completely, utterly gone. Not even a crumb. And that's because it was absolutely delicious. So I'm going to share this with you right now. So right here I have a fairly large bowl, medium, and a kitchen scale. And I highly recommend you use a kitchen scale for accurate measurements because I tried this recipe both with cups and with measuring cups and measuring spoons, and I tried it with a kitchen scale. And when you use measuring cups, the measurements vary so much, and so if you want to have the same exact texture for the bread all the time, and you want this amazing soft and crunchy and delicious bread, I highly advise you to use a kitchen scale. They're not expensive. If you want, I'll leave a link for the one that I'm using right now down in the description box below. But anyways, let's go ahead and start. And I just want to mention before also I proceed that if you want the measurements with the cups and spoons measurements, I'll have that in the recipe up on my blog, which will be coming up before this video comes up on YouTube. So let's start. So I'm going to turn this on right now. And the first thing we are going to start with is the brown rice flour, and we need 382 grams of brown rice flour. And I like to use grams because it's a lot more accurate than ounces. Good luck to me reading that upside down. I hope you guys can see it. And then we need 60 grams of cornstarch. I'm going to click the tear button. There we go, 60. Okay, now we need also 60 grams of potato starch. Now you need 30 grams of oat fiber. 13 grams of psyllium husk, and this recipe is vegan also. Of course, it's gluten free. No! Okay, that's alright. 14, 13. I know that's gonna bother me, but that's okay. Alright, we also need xanthan gum, and we are going to need 8 grams of xanthan gum, and I'm trying to read my recipe as I'm doing this. And I now have a helper with me. Okay, now we are going to add in the salt. I gotta turn this on again. You gonna help me? Yeah. I love you. Okay, and for that we need, if I can turn it on, okay, I suppose we're going to, I need to see first. Okay. There we go. Salt. Okay, I'm trying to read my recipe and it's way over there. Okay, we need 16 grams of salt, and just to help me out, I'm going to turn this around so that I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Hi, beautiful. Okay, what did I say? So we need 16 grams of salt. There we go. We also are going to use yeast, and for that we need 8 grams. And I was going to make this using gluten-free sourdough, but I decided that most of you guys don't have a sourdough pet, so that's why I decided to go with regular regular active dry yeast. Yeah. Is that pretty? Yeah, that's pretty. You're so cute. Okay, and we also need 45 grams of brown sugar. And I'm using light brown sugar. Oh, I gotta tear the scale. Oh, that's yummy. Yeah, but you're not having any. Mm-mm. Yes, you did. Oh, perfect. Wow. Measured exactly 45 grams without even trying. Did I forget something? Oh yeah, we have to chop stuff. How am I going to chop stuff with you on my hip? Yeah. How am I going to do that? Huh? Mwah, I love you. Okay, so we are going to need about a teaspoon of rosemary and a couple leaves of fresh sage and fresh rosemary, of course. So I'm gonna grab a couple leaves of sage and a sprig of rosemary, and I'm going to chop those up and add them in here. We also need about a teaspoon of black pepper. So I gotta grab my chopping board. And I'm going to try and leave some for the topping also, because I like to have some rosemary on the top. Not only it makes it beautiful, but it also tastes beautiful. Tastes beautiful? It also tastes awesome, amazing, wonderful. You know, all these things. No, Mama. Can't touch that. That's rosemary. You want to smell it? Don't eat it. You can't eat that. Somehow, where are... Oh. I pressed the sage under this. Okay, somehow I'm going to chop this up right now. Maybe I'll give the serenity to someone. So one of the kids to help me out. Can someone please help me? Or she can crawl next to me. You want to crawl next to me? Oh, you want to stay there with Gabriel? Here, stay here with Gabriel. Okay. Thank you, Gabriel. You're welcome. Okay, so I'm going to chop the rosemary, and then we are going to add them to the dry ingredients. Okay, so I'm just going to gather these up a little bit and try not to chop my fingers as I do that. You could use any herbs that you like, but these, I found that these taste just amazing with this bread. And I love rosemary, I have to say that. You could use oregano, what else, thyme, any of these fresh herbs. Okay, so now I'm going to add them to the dry ingredients. Set this aside. So now we are going to give these dry ingredients a quick mix. And I'm trying to crush the pieces of the brown sugar up because they tend to clump up. You want to mix the dry ingredients first before you add in the wet ingredients, just to make sure that it's all well combined. Because you know, it's not like wheat flour where you have just one type of flour. You want to make sure that all the ingredients are properly mixed so that you don't have a weird form in the dough where one place is one texture and the other place is another texture. Her there. Thank you. Yeah. Are you going to be with Elizabeth? Can I go to her? Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Careful. Okay. I like to have 2 limbs to work with. That's good enough. Okay, so now we are going to add our wet ingredients, and for that I'm going to start again. I'm going to grab my scale again, and I'm going to start with olive oil. I like to use extra virgin olive oil. I find that it has the best flavor. It makes this bread taste even that much more amazing. So we are going to add 75 grams of extra virgin olive oil. Ah, no, I added too much. No, what did I do? Not too much, only 5 grams more. Here, let's see if I can take some out. No, more than 5 grams. Oh man, what did I do? Gotta clean that up. Where's my thing? Okay, I'm at 78 grams of olive oil. It was supposed to be 75. It's okay. We also need 10 grams of apple cider vinegar. And this is homemade apple cider vinegar, and I'm so proud of it. It was my first time making it, and I made it several years ago, and I'm still using it. If you guys would like me to share this recipe with you, let me know. I'll probably also share it on the blog. I'm that kind of a person, a do-it-yourself type of a person. I love to do everything homemade, from scratch, all that stuff. This is why all my recipes start from scratch, but I'll probably make some others that don't start from scratch, just because not everyone has the time to cook from scratch. But as you can see, this doesn't take that much time, and it's just a few ingredients you throw together and you're done. So we also need water. So for that, I'm going to add, how much water did I say to add? Okay, so we're going to add 530 grams of lukewarm water, sort of lukewarm. I would have liked it to be more lukewarm. How much did I say? 530 grams, okay. When I'm tired and hungry, I can't think. Okay, I need more water. $531. I'm being generous today. Oh yeah, totally forgot the black pepper. You need about a teaspoon in there. I like to use fresh black pepper just because it tastes so much better. But you can use the pre-ground stuff. It's okay. I use it sometimes too. That's good enough. I think I gave my wrists a pretty good exercise. Okay, so now I am going to set this aside. Did I forget anything? I don't think so. Okay, and we are going to give this a mix with the spoon first until it comes together. As you can see right here is where you would want to start using your hands. I'm just trying to squish these pieces of brown sugar that didn't want to get squished. You can see how it absorbed all the liquid. So now we are going to use our hands. It's not that sticky, so I don't mind. And we're just going to knead it for a minute or two, or less, I don't know. 30 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever, as long as it takes to just get it to be uniform and not have any random pieces of brown sugar that are floating in there. Because this is not like a wheat dough, you don't need to knead it to activate the gluten so that you can so that the dough can be stretchy and hold the air that's being produced by the yeast. This doesn't do that. It doesn't get stretchy, as you can see. It's just like a thick batter. I think it's pretty good. So I'm going to now grab a pan and I'm going to oil it a little bit and then put a parchment paper in there. And then we are going to transfer this into that pan. It's stickier than yesterday. That's because I messed up with the oil. I added a little bit too much oil. That's okay. Don't judge my pan. I used it yesterday, tried to scrub it. Didn't really get that clean. I lost my elbow grease. Okay, so I'm gonna oil this pan and then we're going to line it with some parchment paper. And for that, you don't have to use your fancy oil. You just need a tiny bit. Just so that the parchment paper would stick to the pan and not be curling everywhere. As you can see, I just took the scissors and I cut straight lines down the sides of the pan. If this were a straight pan, I would have, you know, had an easier time. Forget it. Forget it. I'm a perfectionist. Let's move on. Okay, so you could either do this and just like stick a piece of dough right here and try to glue it if you want. You could do that, or you could just cut them like this. See that? They're not, well, come on, stick please. I find it easier to cut them because the dough is not going to reach this part right here. It's not like this is a mold. We're just trying to prevent the bread from sticking to the pan, and I'm just going to cut the excess over here and over here. Try to hurry up because my baby's hungry. Okay, so now we are going to transfer this into the pan, and I gotta hurry up because, as you can hear, my baby is not happy. And I'm going to just spread it, and I'll spare you the crying. I'm going to cover this with cling wrap and then let it rise for 2 hours, and then I'll get back to you guys. I've let the dough rise for about 3 hours. Yes, 3 hours, because I have to make dinner. And as you can see, it has risen. If you can tell on the sides, it's about, I'd say it's risen in about 1 inch or so. And I flattened it to be about 1/2 inch, and you can see all the like the bubbles that are being trapped on the inside, sort of being trapped as much as Gluten Free can trap. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we're going to put some toppings on it and pop it into the oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to let it bake for 30 minutes. So let's put some toppings on it. Actually, before we put the toppings on it, I have here some olive oil that I'm going to dip my fingers in just so that the dough doesn't stick to my fingers, and I'm going to create some divots in the dough so that when we do put some olive oil later on, it would catch the divots would catch the olive oil and all the toppings, and also it makes it look pretty. Right here I have some cherry tomatoes that I'm going to rinse and cut them in half in the long way, and I'm also going to top it with the same ingredients that I put in it: the rosemary, the sage, and black pepper and salt. So let's get to chopping. Don't laugh at me, my knife needs sharpening, so I'm gonna hopefully I won't have a hard time cutting these tomatoes. And then I'm going to take them and put them in the divots or create divots with them, whichever. If you don't like tomatoes, you could skip this step. But I think they make it look so pretty. I'm going to take my rosemary sprigs and take the leaves off. The top part is tender, so I just chop that in, except for the stem right here. I'm going to take also a couple leaves of sage again. And I'm going to chop them. I always find it tricky to chop small things like this. Okay, so I'm going to take them, mix them up a little bit, and then I'm going to sprinkle them on top of the focaccia bread. And now I am going to grab some black pepper and sprinkle some on the top. And I'm going to sprinkle in some kosher salt, or I would have loved to sprinkle in some sea salt on top, but I don't have any at the moment. Next time. I like salt, so don't judge. And then I'm going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin. And this is going to make the crust crispy, and it's going to add flavor to the vegetables, especially like the tomatoes. You could even put olives here. Oh, that'd be great. And now we are going to take this bread and put it in the oven on the middle rack at 450 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 35 minutes until it is crispy on the top. And when you tap on it, it sort of sounds hollow. It is not going to sound exactly as a wheat bread would, but it's going to have a deeper sound to it. Because it still has a little bit of moistness inside it when it's done. And you want to let it rest after you bake it for, I'd say, about 20 minutes before you cut into it. Okay, so this baby right here is going into the oven. It's been 30 minutes and now I'm going to take it out of the oven. Woo, so hot! I can straighten my hair in that heat. Okay. So, it smells amazing. One thing I forgot to put on top was Romano cheese, and totally forgot it. That would have been really good with it, but still good either way. And anyways, let me give you guys a close-up so that you can see how good it is. And I wish you could smell how amazing it smells. It's just, oh, so amazing. And look at that. Oh, so wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. For your sake, I'm going to cut into it right now so that you guys can see the inside. But on a different day, I would have waited about 20 minutes before I cut into it. So let's dig in. I'm going to try to lift this off of here and transfer it onto the cutting board without burning myself. There we go. Serenity. So you guys can see the bubbles, and this is only just using yeast. I tried using baking soda in this and it didn't work out, so I found that it gave it like a cakey texture, and that's not what I want here. I want a bread texture. Serenity, what are you doing? Doesn't it smell good? Does it smell good? Yeah, it smells good. It's hot. You're hot. I'm gonna try it. And hopefully I don't burn myself. Ooh. Mmm. Mmm. I'm gonna try. Is it yummy? Yeah. You're so cute. Mmm. Mmm. Is it yummy? Yeah. Oh. So you guys can find this recipe up on the blog at glutenfreecooking123.com. I will leave the link for it down in the description box below. And you want more? She says it's good. So I also have over 70 recipes right now on the blog, so you guys can go and check them out. And I also have a free menu planner. Please, if you are new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you like this video, please hit the like button and share so that more people can learn how to cook delicious gluten-free food and enjoy their gluten-free life. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next episode.